Mano yo hika banya kata nakape ublumi kata mo jadi Qaggiavuut takwa kanok makok tunod ino tunod daw tag na kata magko kayo yo tini na ta chiu law ngapta kayo hindi tinilog ni apta ta na kayo ba ni apti ko. I said good idea. We're going to do a brief discussion, I guess, on how to ensure that our arts is able to be passed on to children and youth, and see how we can do that, see what kind of support systems we may need or anything like that. So that's going to be our discussion for this afternoon, so I'm really glad that you guys can be here.
Alla mi purato Qaggiavuut pingaarnartu mi silattussarfunninggaani ilinniartu sirusilaalerinnermi maaniput. Can everybody in the ECE program please put your hand up?
Please hands up. Please hands up.
So these are the students that are just about to graduate from Qaggiavuut's early childhood education program.
Have a little bit of time to do group discussions in your tables, if you can do that. Some of the stuff I think that are highlighted on what you should be discussing. Some of the stuff like should we support giving arts to our youth, or you know, what are the values that we can teach for our Inuit stories and songs for the children. So please be candid, have discussions, and we'll get back together in about an hour and a half, I guess, to see how far we've come along. So enjoy.
Matum Topakojima, Nikki, Dr. Inuit, Pijagatalaxu, Litamatain, after Fola, Matalitapani, Ninguna Takurugo, Ninguna Tamuka, Atunatu.
Tapi ko nang kinajik sakti tawit ubal ni kinajik sang ito ti.
Kinakitawa oktung. Mga tong ito. Mga tong. Kasi nang waktu kumula oktung. Una ililiti yung mga waktu ka. Pagkakali ililiti sa kaya liya ako oktung.
Ilirikan na ka lang yung mga
Hindi na kumula.
ikaw ka nalo sa kami kinalaklo na. Dito ako
Kaya kanya sunod tayo mga matawang na nakakalang matakit tayo.
And so there were many wonderful discussions. I went to listen to many of all of your tables. So I look forward to hearing what you guys had come up with. Now I got to look at Lawama. Tamapinut to Halawa, Kuwen and Tuhakomenak Yonik, Okaya Kalagan Malawapi, Tantamba, Okaya Opio, Gat to Qaggiavuut.
Kavina Simagata, ama asing chinik, to sa Simagata, ilisip asing chinimo, Kasa Karabin, Amatanaka, Sokoshinaka. Both Vinny and I were going around the tables, and it was amazing to hear how different all of your conversations were. So it's going to be great to hear what everyone has to say together. Could we ask one person from each table to come and give a presentation?
What is the value of Inuit stories and songs for children?
Kano ato te kakata ko apim mariubat so sa noino sa tonolo ingi uti amalo unika tuat Qaggiavuut ya kami so sa noino sa tonolo tana pa ko te kiu yang koyo.
When elders come in to teach songs and stories to young children, it creates a relationship between our elders and the youth, but it also is a source of pride, self-esteem, confidence, because it grounds our children within our culture. There was a point made that songs for children in Inuktitut are used with the language is much easier, and so you made the point that the language that children use is different than the language that elders use, so that it helps them to use Inuktitut language. But also the songs that are taught helps to keep the stories that our elders have and the paths that they've walked alive, because through song, when they're learning the songs, they're also learning the stories behind them. There was a point made that it's an act of decolonization. If we're teaching our children from a very young age, then we are fighting the monster of colonization. To connect. Oh, it's also a way, when our children learn these songs and stories, it's a way for them to share their culture with other cultures around the world. So I was saying that it's a way for our children to share their culture with other cultures around the world, but also to share the stories that we have with non-Inuit or non-Indigenous people. And there was a point made that oftentimes if adult to adult talking, sometimes other adults lose interest, but when children are speaking and when we give children the stage, we like to listen in very closely. And so they're given a new perspective in a way that is the way we interact with children is very different, right? And so when we're hearing the songs and stories from our children, you take different things from that. Also, songs and storytelling is a fun way to learn language and culture. There was also a point that it establishes an immediate connection to our ancestors and the relationship to our environment. Anything that I didn't mention, you can mention as well. It's a way of communicating. It gives them communication and presentation skills. Going back to the language part, it also gives them that emotional connection. You know, when you're a child and you hear a song, and then when you're an adult and you hear that song years and years later, you kind of get that feeling of good inside, and it promotes mental wellness, the physiological, emotional. It's very all around good for our children to learn these songs and stories. Is there anything that I'm missing today? Talked about within some of the daycares, local daycares here and in some schools, we're seeing children learning throat singing as well as ayaya and drum dancing, pisets. But we were trying to think outside of those forms that we're seeing that are already successful in our daycares and in our schools and in our homes. It also, again, promotes Inuktitut songs. There's the Tumikului daycare. They sing a lot of Inuktitut songs with hand gestures, which is really fun, and storytelling and puppeteering, you know, playing with puppets. We also talked about how a lot of youth are now engaged with digital resources, and so things like photography, stop motion, and all areas of production. So when we're thinking performing arts as a whole, things like sewing and creating props are some things that we can engage our children in at a young age. And then we kind of got up, I don't know if it's totally off topic, but we talked about different apps and how we can create different apps for our children that helps with the use of Inuktitut language and linguistics, improv and role-playing. There was a point to say that we can also teach our children from a very young age how to play different instruments and how they can incorporate that into their performance. But when we think of performing arts as a whole, it can be inclusive of other cultures. Our culture in the Arctic is predominantly Inuit, but it can be inclusive of all performing arts. And it helps them to give public presentations, Inuit games. We think that children can learn the value of Inuit games at a young age, as well as the huki and how to square dance movement. But also, when teaching songs, to teach them songs in both Inuktitut and English in a repetitive way so that they're becoming familiar with certain terms. And we talked about sensitive children, so children with autism or other multi-ability children, and how introducing them to the idea of activities around light and textures and sounds, and how it can impact our emotions as a whole. Then we talked about how great it would be to have week-long performing arts camps, and with the improv part, the improv and the role-playing, to have an elder come in or a few elders come in and talk about the different things that, characters that we take on and how they can incorporate stories into that. Tema, was that it? Tema, thanks.
Go away. Inuktitut hakala ngayon nga, akala na yan ang akala ko sa nga. Inuktitut. Una, apiliuti kayo nga tayo lang nga, ukunin nga ilang kayo na ito nga. At sige ito kayo na matano na lang inipis si Mayuni, Cambridge Bay, Akbeat, ikalugtut siya, nunabik, arwa, temito kayo na ito. Una, apiliuti, kiyo kakay na tabot. Hanwiktut, ilinya ratsagat, sukusunod, inusok tunong luto nga ngayon naman na. Miss Boya, Mateo, okay, ready? So, kung di ba ako sasamay? Inulim yung kakay na ito tusak na yang ni pigok sa titsisod, ang malo, ilok ko sila rin nagmilo, ni Kato nagmil, pigok sa titsisod, sutit, sa nangwatit sinagmilo, ito tigilo ko, panani, sabi ni, ulun ni,
Anni turutit saniilinne sanatitsisuun pinasuorusini maqqoorunnaanni maqquvitsutilluuni pingasuvitsutilluuni aqqaaruiluani kiinoyahaqtitaummissutilli haamulikunnu upalulunni nakituina kiinoyaqsiusuumi ayuinarutisuut ammalu taanna aulatausu iluqqusileriinginnu nunalimmini ammalu aqveani hallungaatitula yosu drama club suliyumuatitsinaqmi saqqititsisuummi yutaavani piaraqniinuusuttunullu teengaangutuqaqainatu saqqititsilarianga taatsumau piarau upikkau immini takumeqqumulluuni immini ilirakkutimulluuni kanguusumulluuni nitsaahayalluassuumi mata atsoornatuquuturinutsutilluuni tamanna saqqititsilarianga kinaunerminin qappailaririanga upigusunnimi taanauhakannamiyanga aqveaniu iqaluttuut siamillu teimaatsaina tusarniyaaqtisinermi pigersatitsisuurummiyu makuningallu xilautjutitsinermin taanisernimi pigersatitsisuurummissutit xullutumillu ilinniarituarmata pigersatitsisuurummiyu xilautjanermin ammalu maqainnimin iqallianikkuut uuttuutigilugu ullusainangani utitsautigilarammisutit Nunavik Theatre suliyungaangutitsinermin taannapauyu ilauqattasimalermiyu ilausuungutsullu ullumima kingulipaamin suliyunguatuni takutsautitsiqattalauyu kautjayu inuussipiningatamit saanoorayami ulluni qullini ilinniatitsisutit nunavimmiunit nakituina pissimayunit ammalu taakkualu circus arts namutuina nunavilimaanu aqvitassuungutsutit ilinniavilimaanut ataussituinauittamu ilinniavimmun aissuungutjanittu uvikailu nunavimmi atuni nunali miqsuviqassuungutsutillu taga miqsuviqarmata atuni miqsuyuuqatsiariartuni piukkuutiqatsiariartuni pitahareermata taakua uvikaapi piareillu miqsuriuqsatitaussuut sananguatitaut hanutuina ilittiriuqsanermit kammiunermit ilinniatitaussuurmiyu nammini atigiliusitsutit kammiusitsutit ammalu atunillu ilinniavilimaat kativikku ilinnianileriingit makuninga miqsutitsisuurutsutillu surusillu sananguatitaussuut ammalu unalu qammikut taanna taqaliu uqaatsiarunarayaqalornianga kisiani naittuutillugu qaalarayaqat qammiku ilinniatitsisuurmata ilinniaviu iluani miqsunermin sananguanermit kissiani ilinniaviu iluaninginersautillugu silataaningaartillugu ilinniatitsirumagiamiu isumaqattallauyimata pilot project ni uttuutiulamatillugut akulivimmi pigiaqsuni ximutsinermin annituqassuarnimin maqainnikkut qanutuinna annaumarassuarnimit ilinniatitsisuurummiyun qattalilauyumiyu kayusilaqatsunnuk taanna kativikku ilinnianileriiku aulatanan ammalu taakua pinguanileriikkut recreational committee Teingaalimatsiaqe quyisuurummiyun uttuutigilerukuutsuule hattasimalertunga ilniatsiriartuqutautsunga katatjanermit nitsertaarusituqarnilu ammalu teikkualukuutsuamiullu suqatsit teimangaalimatsiaqpitsaaqassuurmata piaraqmini ilautitsisiaviingassuut kayusititsisiaqsutit ilautjanikkuun katatjanikku nitsertaarusikkut allaa nammini ilauqattasimalermi nammini ilniatsiuqattasimalermiyunga kalersuyaarmulu uttuutigileruqaiqquyaaqattasimalersunga ilinniavinnut ilinniatitsiriartussunga piaraqni nunalilimaallutuni maqittisisuurutsutit piaraqni upeqngaakut tama Cambridge millu Cambridge hunaasinurtaqinatuinut iqaluttuuttiaq Ikalutto tiamillo Young Hunters Program layo me pitahak misoni nuna rin ng milo ilinya titaw tsuti nani anni tok besaw ba nani ikalewit sa siyang ba tamak ko ni ngayon niya titaw tsuti kalona tito cartography ikalon nilo unikato akbit center haksuni unikato akbit haksuni unikato akbit tok natumin Amalo ni chata sini opalolo ni tamag ko ni tusak na yaro tini ilinya titsinak may pita kasong milyon amalo alianay festival halito man takwa alianay mo kay kuya binin ilinya titsirak tusong tsuti